So far in this tutorial, we spent a lot of time understanding strings, and there's a natural way to get from strings to arrays. The way to do it is with a string method called split. Let's check it out in IRB. We'll first start with a string that's separated by spaces, like this. Ant, bat, cat. And now to convert this into an array of strings, we can split it on the separator here, which is just a space. Dot split, space, and then like that. So this is a Ruby array. It's indicated with square brackets, as you can see here. And in this case, it just represents a list of the 3 constituent strings that are separated by spaces in the original. It's possible to split on other things. So for example, suppose these were separated by commas, like this. In this case, if we split on a space, it doesn't work, but we can split on comma, like that. Same thing, we can split on multiple characters. So we can split on comma space here. And in general, we can separate these with anything and split on arbitrary strings, like this. Ant, hey, bat, hey, cat. Like that. We can even split on the empty string. Let's take a look at this. If we split badger on the empty string, we just get the constituent characters. We'll put this to good use later in the tutorial. Finally, Ruby is unusual in that the default behavior of split without any arguments is really useful and in fact probably the most common way to use it. Let's take a look. Go back to this. If we do ant bat cat dot split just by itself, that also splits it into the constituent strings. So how's this different from just splitting on space? Well, the answer is we can do this. We can put a whole bunch of spaces in here. In fact, we can even put in things like a couple tabs. We can put in a new line and another word. Dot split. Oops, I made a tab out of the T in bat. Let's do that here. There we go. Ant, bat, cat, duck. So you can see what split is doing here. It's splitting on white space. So multiple spaces or tabs or new lines all count as the same thing. In most languages that support split, doing this sort of split on white space requires a regular expression, a subject we'll cover in chapter 4. And indeed, we will look at this in more depth in that chapter. But it's important to know, even at this early stage, that this is the most common and useful way of using split, and it's probably the most common version that you'll encounter in other people's code.